Hello guys, this is Elon Prince. So in this video, I would like to teach you a topic under art course called rationalization. Okay, rationalization. So by definition, what is rationalization? So I'll give you a direct answer or direct explanation. I'm not going to sophisticated words. So by rationalization, I'll define it as a way of elimination. Okay. And what are we eliminating? We're eliminating radicals. Okay. So you can say it's a process of eliminating radicals. Okay. And by radicals, we know what radicals are. We mean square roots, cube roots, etc., etc. Okay. That is to rationalize. It means you eliminate square roots, and usually this is given in terms of a fraction. For example, you'll be given an example of 3 over maybe 2 minus the square root of x. Then they tell you saying to rationalize. What are you rationalizing here? You're rationalizing the denominator. So what does this imply? It implies saying remove the square root on the denominator. If it is like this, 3 plus the square root of 2 over 4, if they tell you to rationalize, it means they mean rationalize on the numerator part. Okay. Now you need to know the standard form. Okay, standard form for radicals. The standard form for radicals is a plus or minus the square root of b, or let me say a plus the square root of b. That's a standard form. A plus the square root of b. Okay, so they'll give you certain fractions, then they'll tell you to rationalize. Now how do you rationalize? Okay, how to rationalize. So you rationalize by applying what we call conjugates. Apply conjugates. Okay, what are those conjugates? So for example, the conjugates for radicals are, if you have a plus or minus the square root of b. Okay, if you have this, the conjugate, I'll say conjugate will be a minus plus the square root of b. Notice what I've done there. Have you noticed? What I mean is, if you have a plus the square root of b, your conjugate for you, it would be a minus the square root of b. If you have a plus the square root of b or a minus the square root of b, the conjugate will be a plus the square root of b. Like that. I hope you're following. Then there's some also other things that you need to know. What are those things? Terms. You need to know certain terms to know. Okay, so the first thing that they'll tell you is to rationalize the denominator. Now the other word for rationalize the denominator is the same as they're telling you, saying express whatever you have, express in the form a plus the square root of b. So sometimes they'll use the word directly, saying rationalize the denominator, or they'll use the word express in the form of a over b. This is one and the same stuff. So many students are actually puzzled. Sometimes they'll tell them saying express in the form of a plus the square root of b, and they will not know what to do. And in an actual sense, they just mean rationalize the denominator. Now for numerator, if they tell you saying rationalize the numerator, what other word would they use? Rationalize the numerator. Well, guess what? There's no other word. If they want you to touch the numerator, it will just be the numerator, nothing else. So there's no other word for numerator. That's what it implies. Okay, so now let's dive into critical examples.